Hi guys, and welcome back to another video for PSO2 NGS. In today's video, what we're going to be looking at is the roadmap for the first half of 2024. So what we've just had is the NGS headline, and in that they went through all the updates for January, but we also got a good look at the roadmap for the next few months as well, which is going to be quite interesting really. So what I thought I'd do is just do a quick video just to mainly focus on the roadmap and just show you what's coming in the next few months, because there are some actually really interesting things in it. So for the first part of the roadmap, what we've got is, so up until late January, we've got the second half of the Super Genesis Festival, and we've also got the New Year 24 and Winter 24 events. They're typical seasonal events. There was nothing particularly special about those. Then quest-wise, we've got, there's a new practice drill called the Chilius Chase, which seems to be focused around using the floating boards in Enquiries. And there's also a new version of the Next Vera quest as well. So what they've done is they've changed the Next Vera urgent quest into a limited quest, and they've replaced all the enemies with Starless. It also looks like Next Vera itself has got some upgrades as well, so it might be a Gigantics version possibly. And then we've also got a collab coming for the 7 Deadly Sins as well. They covered a lot of that in the actual NGS headline, so if you want to see the specifics of that, just watch the headline. What I'm more interested in this video is actually what's coming after that. So from January to March, what we've got is the Spring 24 event. We've got additional high rank in Enquiries, which we kind of expected. You know, we've had it for Retem recently with Retamalnoth and a quad low levels. So I would imagine that Belugana Ruins and Lost Central are probably going to get another rank. We're getting more story quests, some more dual quests. We're getting a new type of standing party quest. Now, when they explained this, what they said is that it will have 2 versions. They didn't really go into the actual details of the quest itself, but what they said is that it will have 2 versions. One version will be a regular version of the quest, and then there'll also be a high difficulty version of it as well. And we're also getting limited time urgent quests and some more limited quests. So we're also in between January and March, we're getting the level cap raised to 85, which again I think we've all been expecting for a little while, because it has been 80 for a little bit now. The big thing though that's coming in between January and March is it looks like Ranger and Gunner are getting an expansion to the class. So recently, if you play the game, you'll know that Bouncer recently got quite a big update. Some people like it, some people don't, seems like, but it got quite a big overhaul to the class, and it looks like they're doing this for a few different classes now. So it looks like between January and March, we're getting an update to Ranger and Gunner. I think Gunner desperately needed it, and I think that Ranger in particular for the launcher does need it as well. I would also like to see with Ranger a little bit less focus on having to use Blight rounds as well, because I feel like the class is very heavily focused around using that. Then for the creative space, we've got a Enquiries theme, which again, it's just all things we would expect. Some more build part, and they're also bringing some parts over from PSO2 as well. And finally, we're getting another Nijisanji collaboration as well, which seem to be all Japanese Nijisanji VTubers, so there's no EM ones this time by the looks of things. Then April and May, we've got the NGS 3rd anniversary. What they said in the headline is that the Super Genesis Festival that's been going on recently, they're actually looking at potentially doing that every 6 months, so every half anniversary for the game, which I think is a really, really good idea. It's a good way of bringing people who might not have played for a while back into the game, so I think that's a really, really solid idea. Then for quests between April and May, we're getting another expansion to Lucille, so I would assume that's going to be a level increase, maybe some more bosses, similar to how we got Angel and Ringada recently. We're getting ultra high difficulty standing party quest. Again, they didn't really go into what it is. I'm going to assume it's whatever this silhouetted boss is, which to me looks like the same skeleton as Darkfall Solus to me. So I'm assuming maybe a harder version of Solus possibly. We're also getting some more Battle Deer, and they did mention later in the headline that some of the Battle Deer might start to feature Starless Gigantics. And again, some more limited time urgent quests and limited time quests. We're also getting the next expansion to the tech art customization. So as you'll know, we recently got this new feature where you can customize your photon arts to do different things. So you can increase the effectiveness of some parts of your photon arts, maybe for a demerit on some other parts. Looks like they're expanding that again. So at the moment, we've only got it for, I think it's for 1 photon out for each weapon type, but we're going to be getting that for a few more. So I would assume maybe they're just going to pick another photon out for each weapon. More build parts from PSO2, and then we're getting some collabs with a shonen manga and also some games from other companies. And then June and July, we're getting the PSO2 12th anniversary. We're getting a new field, which I'll go into that in a bit. We're getting more story quests, some more dual quests, some more limited time quests, a new action system, which again I'll go into in a little bit. And we're also getting an expansion to the fighter class, so it looks like fight is also getting an overhaul. So in the next 6 months, it looks like Ranger, Gunner, and Fighter are all getting some kind of overhaul. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about the Fighter one because I kind of feel that Fighter is a really fun class at the minute. Personally, for me, I'm not a huge fan of how the double saber works, but I really, really enjoy using the daggers and the knuckles. So I'm a little bit hesitant to see what they're going to do to Fighter, but it could be an improvement. We'll see. I'm more excited about the Ranger and Gunner expansions, though. We're also getting a Japanese-style theme for the creative space, more build parts, and then some collabs with science fiction anime and anime based on a light novel. So that's what's coming in the next 6 months. Now, the big one there, obviously, is the expansions to the classes, but also the new field and the new action system that they're calling it. Now, later in the broadcast, we actually got a sneak peek at this. So what I'll do is I'll show you guys that now. So first of all, we've got the look at the new field. So it looks like it's going to be some kind of city. It kind of reminds me a lot of the city map from base game PSO2, to be honest. And it also seems to have some elements of maybe from the Tokyo map from PSO2, where it's got what appeared to be the rings that you run through to speed up. So kind of looking forward to that, but it is similar to what we've seen before. Next up, we've got this action system. So this is really interesting. I'm just going to pause it here, actually. So this action system, it seems to be some kind of mechanical device that your character can take with them. It shows it being used in combat quite a bit, and there seems to be a few different configurations of it as well. So you can see that the Humar here, he seems to be mainly using it as a melee weapon with this big spinning blade. But then later on, we also see a caster using it as a gun as well. So there does seem to be a ranged version of it as well. Now, I don't know if this is going to be something that that only appears in certain quests, or if they're actually going to roll it out all over the game. It does show the characters gliding around with it in the exploration areas, so I'm assuming it's going to be an actual rollout across the game in general. Now, as to what it is, I've got no idea. They only showed the absolute basics of it at the moment, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of the old SUV weapons from Phantasy Star Universe, where you would summon a big weapon to assist you and do a load of damage to the enemies, and then it would disappear. The difference is this seems to be a bit more permanent from what it's showing. I'm assuming there'll be some kind of timer on it, but it's hard to tell without knowing a little bit more about what it exactly is. So that's coming around June or July. I would guess that it's coming around the same time as the new field. So that is really interesting. NGS does kind of need a new field now. We've obviously exhausted all the different fields on Halfa, so we need to look at where else we can go from there. And I think the addition of a new action for combat with this new mechanical jetpack thing, it looks really, really interesting. Overall, I think the headline was it was a little bit weak overall. There wasn't a great deal in January, to be honest, but it was good to get a look at the roadmap for the next 6 months, just so we get an idea of where things are going. So just a quick one today. I'll end this video there for now. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider liking or subscribing. And you can also follow me on Twitter as well, or X, which is @SectionSkyline. the meantime, I'll end the video there. Any questions, just leave them in the comments below and I will try and answer what I can. But for the meantime, I'll see you guys in the next video.